This is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. I gotta take myself in airplane mode. Alright. Yeah, I just had an Amber Alert. So I just interrupted my video, but I'm glad I just started instead of being in the middle of it. So, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Apparently a little 7-week-old baby just got taken, and hopefully with Jesus' help, he'll be found. Today is January the 29th. Wow, 29th of January, 2020. So rejoice. This is the day the Lord has made. Let's be glad and rejoice in it. Did I say that already? Choose to get up every day and bless your day. That's what Caroline Miss says. I have no idea what is going to be in my day, but it is a blessed day. Because why? Because I am alive. And she says, don't base your gratitude of your life on what you have or how you feel, but just because you are. Just because you are, just because you are. Just because you are. Okay. And then hold in your heart this prayer. This day in my life will never come again. I will never see the people I am looking at again. I will never see the sunrise again. I will never see that sunset. I will never see the person having breakfast with me again, just this way. No, nothing in my life like this will ever come again. That alone, that choice alone should take out of your heart every bitter taste there is. That should shape the life around you with such grace and such beauty that makes you only want to see the present with great gratitude and love. All right, and I want to read from St. Jane Till. Just a quick one. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of talk about death lately. Unfortunately, especially about Kobe Bryant and his daughter. And it's very, very sad. It's very, 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 very sad. And it gives me great, it gives me great comfort to know that he did go to Mass that morning, Sunday morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning at his church. And so, he was praising God, and yeah. So, but at this book here, it says Saint Jane, okay, from Saint Jane de Chantal, Spiritual Light, all right. And it says death, and it gets a little crazy or talks a little crazy, but just trying to get to the point in the last, and especially, the point of the message, okay? So at the time of someone's death, truly, your sorrow can be great, and when looked at only in terms of this earthly life, it is overwhelming. But if you can look beyond the ordinary and shifting events of life and consider the infinite blessings and consolations of eternity, you would find comfort in the midst of these reversals, as well as joy in the assured destiny of the one for whom you mourn. Our first reactions to someone's death are inevitable, and our gentle Savior is certainly not offended by them. But I hope that afterward, God will fill you with 1,000 delicate holy consolations. Redirect yourself as much as you can to find strength in the comfort hope that we shall all be united in the joy of a blessed eternity. Why should we fear our own death? All kinds of death ought to be indifferent to us. If God permits that we should die by pestilence, by overfatigue, by drowning or in our bed, we must will it also. On the occasion of some great accident, as a fire, war, earthquake, and the like, our limbs will fail us, and our body tremble, and our whole nature shudder. We cannot hinder nature from doing her work, but undoubtedly grace must also do hers, and prevail over all that, the mind remaining steadfast in peace and conformity to the providence of God. It is but a lack of faith that we have so many fears. We are not attentive enough to this truth. Nothing happens outside the will of God and his providence. The fruit of a devout life is to surrender oneself totally to God and to rest in his arms like a child without fears. Okay. Well, that's enough about that. Let us turn to Mother Angelica and start exercising because we got to get this body working. I had a chocolate binge last night, which was bad. Hershey's chocolate, you know. You can't fight that one, that urge. All right, just a minute. Let's turn her on. I tried to have the TV ready in the right position. Okay, here we go. Mother Angelica Live, November 9th, 1999. What is heaven really like? Okay. I had another one in mind, but I couldn't get to it quick enough. Alright, how can I get in here so you can see it?
See in you the love and compassion of Jesus.
I wish I could.
To praise God.
I wish I could get it this way, but it seems like I just can't. Alright.
And God lives in you. What a wonderful thing is our church.
Where's my table?
This whole network is built on trust. The essence of evangelization is to tell everybody Jesus found freedom. We're all called to be great saints. Don't miss the opportunity. Well, here we are. So we know there are many things in the world today not right. You know, we all know that. And so it's our obligation as Catholics and Christians to live our lives and to do what we do for God in the best way possible. To repair. Like if you went to confession and you said, I stole 55 2x4s. Okay? Well, you have to return the 2x4s. You have to do something about that. You see, you just can't say, well, I'm sorry. And the father says, where is it? You say, well, I built a house with it. Oh, with it. So, you see, you got to repair. We're not accustomed to repairing today. We're accustomed to just say, I'm sorry, and that's certainly a beginning. And so all of you that are ill, terminally ill, for example, and you know don't have far to go before you meet the Lord, you have to repair. Say what? Well, you can offer your pain, your sufferings. You offer to God for the world, for the world. The world is torn apart, really. You know that, so do I. And we have to repair. As Catholics, where you receive the Eucharist, you repair, see? So if you put more love in your love for Our Lady, more devotion to the Eucharist, you repair. This morning I heard of a church that they have too many hosts in the ciborium. They take those hosts and put them in the bag where the hosts for tomorrow. They're not even consecrated. And the deacon said, oh, we don't waste them, we just use them again tomorrow. Well, what is that? So you and I, when we know about it, we have to repair for that. Somebody has to repair. And if you love someone and they've been deeply hurt, what do? You talk to them. You buy them some candy, some flowers. You do something, you know. A person that's grieving a death, you go and give them a hug. You say you're sorry. Maybe you make them a dinner or lunch. You repair. where our world is not in the habit of repairing. It's gotten into the habit of destroying. See, that's why with abortion so prevalent, and we don't have that heart anymore that feels sorry for that little kid that's torn apart. Well, are we repairing for this before God? See? We call it reparation, repair. So many, as you get older and your legs begin to creak, you used to be able to sit on the floor. Now you can't sit on the floor because if you sit on the floor, you can't get up. And the person trying to help you can't get down. So two of you in one odds is pretty bad, you know. You gotta look to it, see which one's going up or down. And that's life. I mean, you know, I can't do the things I used to do. Even with my healing, you know, I can't run because I haven't run for 45 years, but still, there are many things you can do. Well, if I can admit that, I'm repairing. See, because our pride is such that we think we have to be the same today as we were 30 or 40 years ago. You don't look the same, and you don't notice that you're changing. Did you ever look at your picture now and then look at it 20 years ago? 30 years ago? You don't recognize yourself. You say, well, I look pretty good then. Well, that's true. You did look pretty good then. So what are you saying? You don't look pretty good? No. Probably true. Those little wrinkles start. You got, oh, terrible. You think of a facelift, rather. But that makes you look worse. I think it does because you get tight. Now, if you look in the mirror after a facelift and think you look good, because it changes your face. You see? Your face at this point looks good with wrinkles. Because at your age, you should have wrinkles. You look better that way. So we're not after repairing, we're after changing all the time. And although life is changeable, it's always changing. Always. You know? You get up one morning, you really feel good. By golly, I'm on the upward swing. By noontime, you gotta have orange juice, you gotta have a sandwich. I mean, just to kind of pep yourself up after 2 cups of coffee, maybe in an hour. You might feel better. But it isn't like it was 20 years ago. So what do? We don't repair because we don't take that particular cross in our hearts and say, well, you know what I admired about Mother Teresa? Well, I admired many things about Mother Teresa, but her multitudinous wrinkles. Deep, you could put your finger in one. She didn't use any creed. She never went anywhere to lift her faith up. She wouldn't look like herself if she didn't have all those deep wrinkles. And now with her new, people are trying to make her look better. When these pictures they're painting of Mother Teresa, she's got at least 20 less wrinkles. I counted it one time. I think I have nothing else to do. But I got a real picture of Mother Teresa and I counted this painting. It didn't look like her. I know she won't have wrinkles in heaven, but it didn't look like her because the labor, the trials, she was 7 years on the streets there, living by herself in a little place, trying to take care of the poor and the desolate and lepers, and they didn't like it, the government didn't like it, and 7 years of agony. Those wrinkles were created by pain and suffering. I don't think you can take them off, you know. I saw a man last week, I hadn't seen for quite a while, had a terrible trial. He changed. He was more quiet, more prayerful. But his hair was white. But you knew this man had gone through hell. And you felt so bad. I felt bad I couldn't have been there and helped him out somehow. But there was a change, see? And then you and I go from change to change, and we don't always realize that although I must accept what I am and who I am. And there's nothing like building to make you know who you are. You know, I try to be a nice nun. Sometimes I try to be a holy nun. Sometimes the real me comes out. It's neither nice or holy. You know why? Because I can't stand to be cheated. I don't care if you're a prostitute, a murderer, a thief, a liar. I can accept all that and try to get you out of it. But try to cheat me or give me an inferior product or don't do it right, I lose it. Because I think it's a grave injustice that's done to almost everybody. You go to a store and you think, this is for sale. It was $50. No, it wasn't. It was never $50. If you read last week's newspaper, it was $20. Now it's the big sale. It was $50, and now it's $30. They just made $10. Right? I can't take that kind of stuff. Just can't take it because it's a lie. And we're accustomed to lying. You know how I know? Because a lot of people look at a nun. You're not supposed to be too bright when you're a nun. I mean, you know, you have to be a little touched in the head to be a nun anyway. In most people's eyes. And so, you know, you're missing so much out of life. Well, I don't know, because looking at some of you, I'm not too sure you made it either. All this stuff burns me up. I try very hard to overcome it, but then when it gets bad, I blow because it's unfair to God. Unfair to God. But most people will tell you today what you want to hear. They figure you out. What do you want to hear? You want to hear you're beautiful. Wonderful. But maybe you're not. Now, I don't expect for somebody to come up and say, Mother, you ain't what you used to be. I'll agree with that. And if they would say you're ugly, I'll agree with that. But people, when you buy a car, he tells you all kinds of things. Even tires. They say, these are wonderful tires. You ever notice the other day I was going down the road coming home from the farm. I saw a car. It had 3 nice looking tires and then it had a little bitty one. Right in front. And I said to brother, that's an odd looking car. He said, why? Well, I said it has 2 big tires and 1 little bitty one. Oh, he said that's the extra they give you in case you have a flat. Now, I have a hard time with that, you see. Why don't you have the decency, since you've probably spent anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 for that car, to put a regular tire there? Why are you going to have this midget? And see, what bothers me is it don't bother you. You got a spare tire. That's one of the sales things. You got a spare tire and it's free. Well, it's not worth 2 cents. You're lucky it gets you to the next gasoline station. But we're so accustomed to this kind of thing, we don't get upset over it, see? And I think that's why we have no concept of what the kingdom of heaven's going to be. Because we're not accustomed to truth. If those people at that particular church believed in the Eucharist, do you think they would take what's left over and put it with the rest that's not even consecrated? And use it again? Well, what is this, using it again? See, I don't understand that. And once we get accustomed to lies and telling people what they want to hear, and I wonder what you do believe. Because I don't think you believe in a kingdom of heaven, because you would want to be there. Don't you think you want to go to heaven? How many sermons have you heard about heaven? Nobody. Ain't nobody lift up their hand. Not even our good priest sitting there. I mean, when did you ever go to any church, your church, whatever it is, and hear about the kingdom of heaven? What is it like? If we knew that, we would want to go. See? Now, if you don't know that, and you don't believe in a personal God, God loves me the way He loves everybody. Well, I'm part of everybody, but He loves me like no one else exists. Oh, that's a difference. He loves you like you were on this earth and there was nothing on it but you, and no individual, no animals, no grass, nothing, just an iron ball. And you're standing in the middle of this iron ball. He could not know or love you any more then than He does today. And when you die, your whole life, He'll know. It's going to pass before you. And then when you look like Jesus, if you die, you look like you're going right to heaven. But if we don't know that, then we are not going to live according to that. See, you can't put up with a lot of suffering or injustice or truth. It's hard to be truthful today because people don't want to hear truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. So then you don't have a concept of a kingdom of love. I don't think there's anybody in the world that doesn't have at least one person they don't love, don't even like, and really don't do anything about it. Otherwise, we would have trouble forgiving. See? That's why the Lord said I should forgive before the sun goes down. Well, now, at daylight time, you got an extra hour. So comes in handy sometimes. Before the sun goes down. You see, our dear Lord knew it was going to take time for something. But He didn't want you to go to bed with an angry heart. Now, if we know that and we try to practice it, I will know what the kingdom of heaven is like. I will know how God loves me, and then I will know when I forgive someone, then I will know what God's forgiveness is all about, because I have experience of forgiving. And that's what the kingdom of heaven is all about. It's total forgiveness from God with no memory on your part of anything you've ever done, except you love God and He loves you. Now you begin to know what the kingdom of heaven is like. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. Oh, no. Let's find out what the kingdom of heaven is like. I think I got it here. Well, which ribbon is it? It's not this one. Well, and it not this one. How you like that? Huh? Mm-hmm. Well, my friend, we're gonna have to wing it. Because the kingdom of heaven is something that we live on this earth, or we live in purgatory, or we live in hell. It all starts here. You see some people that are so angry with the world, or hateful, or just have never loved or maybe been loved. People who love evil. I talked to a man one time and he said his idea of a good time was to go in a smoke-filled den. Sit at a bar and get drunk. Is that your idea of the kingdom of heaven? You like that? That's not the kingdom of heaven. You go out on a date and you have all kinds of affairs and you get drunk and you don't know what you're doing. What do you say? I had a great time. Did you? Is that your idea of the kingdom of heaven? Oh, it's not. What is the kingdom of heaven for you? Is it a big car? Oh, wonderful. It's every day it's getting older, like you. One small wreck and you've had it. Total. Why? Because that beautiful car is made out of plastic. The fender's gone. Well, the fender in my day used to be made out of metal. If you bumped that fender, believe me, you could straighten it out yourself. But now, you see that fender is still in all little shreds of something there. So all that money you spent won't even take a bump. When my sisters went to a store one time and this man gave me a bicycle. Well, when I was a kid, a bicycle was a bicycle. You got on it and you went. But this was 10 speed, and I don't know anything about 10-speed bicycle. In my day, you went whatever speed your legs went. How do I know about a 10-speed bicycle?
All right, sorry, you
And I
gotta
said,
go.
oh, that's
God bless
wonderful.
you. Have a
I
wonderful
thought,
day.
well, be like a car. You can go 5 miles an hour or 50, but I